The Bad Boys Podcast brought to you by Man Up Down Under, high-performing underwear that cups your junk like the soft hands of an angel. Visit manupdownunder.com.au.
Today on the show, we get loose with Toilet Rectal Scanners.
Bad Boys FM and the VB ad both get an overhaul.
And Killers on Podcasts. What's next?
All that and more on the Bad Boys Podcast. If you want the hard-hitting journalism of Four Corners, the reliable current affairs of, well, a current affair, and the planning that goes into classy shows like The Project, then you've tuned into the wrong podcast. It's comedy, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and news stories that makes Fox News sound like an episode of The Muppets. Or maybe it's the other way around. Conversations no one wants to have, but everyone wants to hear. This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Welcome to the Bad Boys Podcast for another week, and what a week it's been already. What a weekend, I should say.
Yeah.
So much happening.
It's been crazy. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on.
Oh, I mean, what's going on in Canberra? Seriously, what is happening?
Look, I'm really glad that it's going on in Canberra. I love the fact that people from all over the world are joining in. We actually, in this country, we don't have a constitutional right to free speech, but we do have a constitutional right to protest in this country. And that in itself, I think, needs to be upheld at all costs. The problem is someone forgot to tell the police. And the police are doing the government's bidding again, and there's some shit. And people are already getting pepper sprayed and stuff like that down in Canberra. Saw it with my own eyes. It's appalling the way that they're treating people down there.
The thing is, though, you compare that to Canada. The Prime Minister has gone to ground.
Right. So is ours, for that matter.
Well, but our Prime Minister's gone to ground because he doesn't even know what day it is.
Right. He's already had his head up his ass. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
So what's going on in Canada is big, though. It's big. Yeah. What's happened in Australia so far hasn't gone really big, but it may very likely do. Part of the issue in Australia is a lot of the big trucking companies haven't gotten behind it. But also through Europe, Northern Europe, all the Americans have headed up to Canada as well. There's 170 to 200,000 trucks in Ottawa and Canada at the moment, and a whole bunch of really good people and stuff. And, of course, the Canadians are as nice as pie.
Yeah.
So, the protests that I've seen in Canberra have a peaceful protest. There's no question about it. Everybody's talking and towing the line in that regards. They're not interested in violence. They're not interested in carrying on or doing any damage or anything stupid stuff like that. It's a peaceful process to try and make a point.
Yeah, and it's good to see in Canada, the general public, all coming out in support of that.
Yeah. And a lot of that's happened in Australia as well. As the convoys are coming down from far north Queensland, Queensland, Northern New South Wales, Northern Territory, WA, up from Adelaide and Victoria, people are lining the highways and waving the flags and cheering them on as they're driving through and stuff like that, which I think is really awesome. And then they're going in and joining them up behind. So I think over the next week, as a lot of that traffic filters through, and some states have had several waves of traffic, of the convoys coming down. I think as that starts to filter through and the numbers start to increase, that, things happen. But coppers are already playing silly bugger games, and I think it's un-Australian.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder when whether they're going to bring out some more security measures, make sure that people are being tracked a bit more. And what better way to do that than bring in a toilet rectal scanner?
Toilet rectal scanner. Now, there is a technology I can get behind, so to speak.
This is a real thing, right? We're in this group, right? And we see all these incredible things come through. I'll take 12.
Just say to people, just making it clear, this ain't some weird sex group, okay? We're not into weird sex shit in public on the Bad Boys.
Isn't it the group that everything is an anal plug?
No, I'm not a member of that group, but I'm glad you are, though, because it's feeding us some really good stuff.
So there was someone that shared about a new toilet that's being created. It's a smart toilet, and it uses biometrics to identify people's butts. So what it does, and I'm just picturing this here, that as you sit down and your anus comes out a bit more, spreads out. It then sort of takes a snapshot of that, if you will, and then it knows who's sitting on the toilet. So, I mean, in one way that could be good because, you could have a certain seat warmer or I mean, if you had toilets that positioned to suit, it'd be like the cars,
maybe
when you
like
sit
Japanese
in a car,
toilets with more gadgets than anything.
Yeah, when you sit in a car and the car seat adjusts to suit your driving habits.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, and mirrors and radio and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So you can have the toilet that's adjusting to your shitting habits, basically.
Right, okay, so from my understanding, the technology behind this works on the basis that like fingerprints, like the irises in our eyes, our chocolate starfish is unique to each of us.
Right.
And look, I won't disagree with that statement. I've known a few chocolate starfishes throughout my life and very, very different from each other.
I haven't actually put them side by side to compare.
Oh, you should give it a go. Yeah. Line them up.
So if you get arrested, can you opt to either have, your fingerprint done or your anal print done?
Well, that I'm not too sure about. But having said that, there is some direct links from this technology to the Chinese COVID swab. So, in past episodes, I was talking about all the COVID swabs that go up the nose like the Western people do and scrapes the base of the brain and stuff. They grab your DNA, put it in a thing, and they send it off to a DNA farm to be collected, right? And the whole point of all of this was about DNA farming. Well, the Chinese are gathering sphincter data. They're not farming DNA, they're farming sphincter shapes and sizes en masse. So they were doing COVID swabs via the butthole.
So this smart toilet, right? Stanford University has put this together. Now, of all the patents, of all the trademarks and patents to go out there, right? The thousands of patents that the Stanford University puts together, someone's gone, anal prints, yes, we'll take that one. Thanks very much.
Right. Yeah.
Now, look, okay, so this is a real thing. It uses a built-in identification system. So there's two things. Firstly, the smart toilet's flush lever is equipped with a fingerprint reader, and then the cameras in the toilet bowl can identify their people's butts. Now, call me skeptic, right? I'm thinking that that it's taking a photo of your butt, and then when you put your fingerprint on there, it's recognizing it. But apparently, they're saying, we know it's weird, but it turns out that everyone's anal print is unique.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
So, how does it work?
Okay.
I mean, I'm interested to know how it works, right?
Okay. So am I. I'm absolutely fascinated. Now, do you have information on it, on how it all actually works?
Yes, I do. So, okay. It uses multiple pressure and motion sensors to detect when someone's about to use it, and then it identifies them using the biometrics. The toilet sends the data it collects to a cloud server.
Right.
This is true. This is how it works, right?
Okay.
Still samples are recorded on video and analysed by algorithms that identify abnormal stool consistencies.
Right, so not just weight, but depth, thickness.
Right. Like
odor,
consistency.
Probably. Yep. These are all important things, data to gather. Yep.
Urine urine's also analysed by algorithms that monitor the flow rate, stream time, and total volume.
Right. See, this is the interesting thing, because if it was a toilet in my house, it would have to register the movements and everything like that based on the Richter scale.
That's right. On the type of curry that you've eaten.
That was a 4.2 jumping yowzers. Quick, call the tsunami hotline. Someone give the local sewage company a call and let them know what's coming.
Now, I don't know how extensive their research is, but according to Stanford, they've only tested it on 21 participants so far.
Right. Okay. which is probably the Muppets in the frat house that came up with this ridiculous idea.
Yeah. And now the researchers also surveyed 300 prospective participants. I like how they used the word prospective.
Yeah.
And 52% said they were at least somewhat comfortable with the idea.
52, somewhat comfortable. Everybody else highly uncomfortable. One thing I'm curious about, does the database have just all these photos? A database of chocolate starfish photos.
So imagine if you're a hacker, right? And you've just hacked into the data center of Stanford University and all you're getting.
I can see it on the walls of Mona already. You know, the house of vaginas, or the big wall of vaginas. They could have the big wall of assholes.
Could be the wall of anuses. Yeah.
Yeah. This reminds me of a story.
Yeah, go on.
So, I've done a bit of consulting for government over the years, 20-odd years of it, as it turns out. And there was a thing about 15 years ago. I was in a boardroom, and there was about, 25, 30 of us all talking about a big new data center that was being built by the Commonwealth and what type of security that they would need to have for this data center. And, of course, a data center, for those who don't know, is just basically a massive purpose-built building, fully air-conditioned, that houses computers, basically.
Basically, all your data goes in there.
So we had one particular guy. Now, in any room, when you've got a bunch of tech guys in there, there's always one guy that's obsessive about a particular technology. And this particular geek was absolutely obsessive about retina scanning. So which is where you hold you see it in movies and stuff like that. You hold your eyeball up to a scanner, it scans it because we've all got a unique iris.
Well, you don't hold the eyeball, you position your eye.
Position your eye over it.
Or you take your eye out and hold it in front of it, yeah.
Anyway, this guy was, and we knew he's been trying to get retina scanners put into the building and stuff for like 10 years by this stage, right? So the guy was really, really crazy. And of course, that sort of technology in this particular type and style of government department was just complete overkill, like really. It's like sending the SWAT team around to arrest Santa coming in through your your ceiling or your fireplace. Right. So right as he's discussing this, I thought I'd have a little bit of fun. And he was talking about retina scanners and all that sort of stuff. I said, hold on a second. Let me just get this right. These rectal scanners, how exactly do they work? And he would go on about the retina scanners. And I go, all right, okay, yeah, but like these rectal scanners, like what happens if you're really short? Do you have to stand on a stool? And what happens if, like does it change depending on whether you're wearing a dress or whether you're wearing pants? Sitting there dropping your pants in front of a door just to try and get access to it, all that sort of stuff. And the guy's looking at me like, God, this guy's an idiot. But everybody else knew what was going on. And everybody was having a good old chuckle. Yeah. As it turns out, we didn't get the retina scanner in, and we also didn't get the rectal scanners installed either.
Thank
I think
God
Occupational Health and Safety and HR got involved. Said, no, we can't do rectal scanning and stuff like that, although that might be a little bit fun, but yes.
Well, look, I don't know. I can see the point of it in the government building, maybe not on the wall, but I kind of feel uncomfortable. I mean, imagine if you're going to the toilet knowing, you talk about stage fright. Now you know that there's a camera pointed directly at your ass.
I know.
While you're just about to, I don't think I could go.
Putting aside the security implications of what happens to all the data of all these buttholes and then linked to names and all that sort of stuff, you could see exposés done on Tonight Live. Look at this, Donald Trump's got polyps. But, think about it too. You could get those fancy butt plugs. Like I saw a butt plug on Facebook the other day that actually had a taxidermed turtle's head sticking out. Oh, no. Because I got away, turtle head's poking out. It's poking, I tell ya. So, you could have some fun. You could have a political butt plug, push in a political statement like, no more mandates.
Fuck you.
You could have the ScoMo butt plug, which is just a butt plug with a picture of ScoMo on it.
ScoMo's face on it.
That's exactly right.
But then you've also got the other problem, right? So the camera's positioned in the bowl, and I know we're spending a bit of time on this, but this is the important stuff. This is the stuff that doesn't get talked about.
Because if we don't stop this now, imagine what's going to happen. They're going to have rectal scanners in every single house all over the world, and our freedoms will be lost, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. So, okay, now I've had a big night on the curry. Yeah. Let's face it.
I've been there the next day after one of your big nights on the curry. Thank you very much. And I'm telling you, there are entire sewage systems and processing plants that can't deal with that shit.
And as it turns out, it's always a spray, right? It's never just like, straight into the bowl. It's always just like an explosion. Now,
particularly if you had too much dairy in that butter chicken. Yeah, I give you that.
So who's going to clean the camera after everyone's been in there and exploded? I mean, it's a health nightmare in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Imagine the poor person behind the camera as well. I mean, it's good that they're giving really short, small, dwarf sort of people jobs, but I hear it's a bit of a shit job. I mean, really, let's be honest with each other.
That's a very shit job.
Who comes up with these stupid ideas?
I don't know. Stanford University. This is what our taxpayer dollars are going towards.
Yowzers.
Oh, dearie me. On a serious note, before we go to the break.
Yeah, this is really shit news. Yeah.
Glenn Wheatley. We obviously he passed away last week. Very sad news. Got to say, he was an absolute legend in the music industry. Of course, everyone knows him from his work that he's done with John Farnham. Before that, he was in Master's Apprentices.
Yep. He was Delta Goodrum's manager as well.
He was Delta Goodrum's manager. I mean, this guy was a powerhouse. He also, from a radio perspective, he actually launched the first rock FM station called Eon FM, which became known as Triple M.
I did not know that. There you go.
He actually launched Triple
M. There's few legends in Australian music like that.
Absolutely. And, his son came out and did a incredible rendition of The Master's Apprentices, Because I Love You. So Tim Wheatley, if you want to go to our Facebook page, you can check that out. I think we're going to be putting it on our website as well, just so you can have a listen to it. Great track. Great legend that's passed away. So another legend
I know
in the making is Iconic Motorhouse.
I know. Tell me about it. I mean, these guys are smashing it out of the park. They are giving away great, one-of-a-kind luxury cars that no one else dares to go near.
Yeah. And at the same time, giving real money to Headspace.
Right. Okay. So this is the interesting thing. You see these organisations all the time and they talk about, we're going to give a bit of our profits away to charity and stuff like that, and they make a big song and dance about it, and usually it's 0.1%. These guys are giving away serious coin. They're really seriously supporting Headspace, and Headspace need the money because they are producing incredible results for people all over Australia, particularly in the mental health category.
And I want to talk about that for a minute too, because I think, guys in particular, we don't like to talk about things like that. In fact,
as a general rule,
we're just like, oh, no, I'm right. No, it's okay. But in actual fact, it's not okay.
No, it's not okay. And we need to talk about it. We need to get it out there. And look, okay, we may not be able to talk to those around us. That's fine. But we need to talk to someone, and that's where Headspace comes in. Good people doing good work.
Exactly.
But the difference about Iconic Motorhouse and everybody else is they're actually increasing the odds. Right? Some of these other mobs that are doing it and stuff like that, they are doing it, and it's like you've got better chances of winning the lotto, in all seriousness with you, because the odds are just so out of control.
I didn't win the lotto last night either. I'm a bit disappointed about that.
Right. But you should be putting more money into this iconicmotorhouse.com and the raffle. I mean, these cars are worth a fair bit of coin.
Yeah.
They're one-of-a-kind units, beautiful cars to drive, but the odds of winning are really, really good because they limit the number of entrants, the number of people that can buy tickets.
50,000, right?
15,000 entrants, correct.
15,000.
15, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
That's even better.
Massive odds.
Yeah.
And at the moment, for a very short period of time that's still left going, they are actually doubling your odds. So you buy, 10 tickets, they're going to give you 20.
Yeah, fantastic. That's awesome. So make sure you head over to Iconic Motorhouse. It's spelt HAUS.com toiletrectalscanners.com and buy your tickets to go in the draw for these incredible cars.
Some cool cars for some seriously cool people.
Cars that I would love to be driving around in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Love it.
This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Welcome back to a Bad Boys Podcast. Now, Andrew, we've done a little bit of an update. We've updated Bad Boys FM. I don't think I've actually been, I don't think we've actually done anything with it for quite some time. It's just been sitting there, and we've looked at it and gone, you know what? We need to relaunch Bad Boys FM to really give it a good burst. We've overhauled it. We're bringing in a lot more indie artists as well. Nice. So we want to give the indie artists a go. So if you are an indie artist listening to this, then head over to our website. We've got a partner which we're now working with to bring all the music through. You can jump on there and submit your music in. We'll have a listen, and if it makes the cut, we'll put it up on Bad Boys FM. Right,
and we're looking for songs with attitude. We're looking for some good, feel-good songs that have a good bit of attitude, a good beat to them, kind of stuff that really wants to get you up and get you going.
Yeah, not stuff that makes you want to just, lose the will to live.
Right. That's exactly
right. There's too much of that around.
New songs. We've been doing, getting a few more fun things going on around the thing. You've got to listen to it to really appreciate it and everything like that. And we're adding more and more to it every single week. And the thing I love about it, mate, despite the fact we did nothing with it for 12 to 18 months, the numbers actually were surprisingly good.
I know. They're still going up.
We're getting a lot of people listening all over the world.
Yeah, we are. We are. And I love that. Because basically what they're saying is that people want good rock music. They just want music that has a bit of attitude to it. So that's what we're giving.
Not to be overrun by ads either. Like they don't want nobody wants that and stuff. And we do have a couple of ads, but literally a couple each hour type of thing. Like it's not a big deal. And it's all about sharing the music and the vibes, giving the indie artists a good go. And more to the point, everybody having a good time.
And we thought we'd revive one of the old ads actually, because everyone loves a good beer ad.
Everybody loves a good beer ad. So we thought we'd do a little bit of work with it. So we thought we'd have a bit of fun.
So we thought we would advertise Bad Boys FM, VB style.
Switch the radio on, will you, love? I like this ad. It's my favourite tune.
You can get it walking.
No, I don't like walking.
You can get it talking.
Oh, my missus can talk. Never shuts up.
You can feel it coming on right about 4.
Yeah, I felt that coming on.
You can get it driving.
Don't have a licence or a car.
You can get it dumpster diving.
Yeah, do a bit of that.
You can get it doing nothing at all.
Do a shitload of that.
A hard day's work needs
good fucking music. That's what I reckon.
You can get it milking a cow.
What does that mean? Some sort of sex thing?
Matter of fact, I got it now. Bad Boys. Bad Boys FM. Love it. How do you get your voice so squeaky?
Yeah, a lot of helium, some really, really tight DACs, and good bogan voice, mate.
You got a bit of a jockey effect happening there as well.
Yeah, there's something going on there, isn't there? Yeah, absolutely. That's good. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, that's what it's all about, eh? We just want it to be fun. And we've actually got a few of our friends that have done some station IDs as well. Big shout out to Fiona Horn. Great to hear her voice on the radio. Shout out to Angry Anderson.
Yeah.
Did one as well. And Mr. Chocolate himself, Adam Thompson from Chocolate Starfish.
Love a good chocolate starfish.
Yes. Speaking of chocolate starfishes, I wonder if he's in for the rectal scan as well.
Right. I don't know. Hey. I think it's just going to change the way that living is done.
That's right. We will be back with a wrap-up of Bad Boys podcast right after this.
If you like your nuts being gently cupped by an angel, then Man Up Down Under are the duds for you. Environmentally friendly with bamboo inserts that are soft, strong, and lifts your weight with ease. Longer in the legs so they stay put. They are cool in summer and warmer when it matters. Man Up Down Under, underwear your girl will want to see you in that you won't want to take off. Go to manupdownunder.com.au and buy a week's supply for your package, because your junk deserves the best.
This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Welcome back to Bad Boys. on the home stretch. And what does it take to have a killer podcast, Andrew?
Yeah, well, as it turns out, there's some really weird stuff been going on. So I don't know what they're calling the guy. Are they calling the guy the bathtub killer?
They're calling him the acid bath killer.
The acid bath killer. Wow.
Yeah, because he put his girlfriend in the acid bath, in the bath, and poured acid over her.
See, this is a fascinating thing. They're actually been a little cagey on the details there, and maybe it's for good reason because maybe we really don't want to know. But yes, some articles are saying the bath was full of acid and she was found in it. Obviously, I'm assuming he was trying to dissolve her body and get rid of her things after he killed her.
So
allegedly.
So they found her in a bathtub filled with acid.
She met him. She was 19, I think. They got married only a few weeks ago, and this guy appears to be a bit of a controlling, possibly abusive megalomaniac who's full of himself. But something came out during the week, didn't it?
Yeah,
Some interesting insight came out during the week.
Yeah, so there's been some strange messages that have emerged. Now, they haven't actually mentioned the podcaster. They haven't named who the podcaster is.
Right.
The podcaster wished to remain anonymous, but he was alerted to so Miraj Zafar is the alleged killer, and he has sent him messages, this podcaster messages, a year ago wanting to be on his podcast.
Yeah,
now, this is an influencer in Sydney, right? And the message goes, can I jump on your podcast? Got a lot to talk about, 100%.
Yep.
And the guy's gone, ? He said, I just watched your podcast, thought I'd jump on. And he said, we're bringing someone on weekly, but we need really good questions. Well, I've got a lot of questions. Now,
see, the thing here is people don't really understand how podcasts work. And yes, I know there are some podcasts that just bring random morons on all of the time. And maybe this guy was listening to one of those podcasts. I don't know because we don't know who it is.
Well, half a year later, he sends another message to this influencer that says, can I get a shout out? And, of course, the influencer just ignored him. Now, I've got a couple of questions here. Firstly, if he had actually been brought onto the podcast, would he have maybe stopped this guy from killing?
Look, who knows? I doubt it. See, the question is why does he want to be on the podcast? What questions does he have? What statements does he want to be thinking? Is he trying to do it for fame and fortune? Does he think actually coming onto a podcast is suddenly going to make him famous? Because if it is, the guy's a bigger moron than he looks.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Like it doesn't work that way with podcasts. It's not like, think about it for a second. What podcast do you know? Even someone going onto Joe Rogan podcast doesn't necessarily make them famous.
Well, it does if you're – apparently it does if you're, a doctor.
If you're spouting shit about COVID, yeah.
But
I don't know.
But this guy didn't even know what he wanted to talk about, right? He's like, oh, can there be any questions? Yes, there's no boundaries. Oh, when do you think I can be on the podcast? He was continually wanting to be on the podcast, which makes you think that this guy, his whole year was like, I'm going to do something famous. I want to be famous. I want to be famous. I know what I can do. Yeah, I can put my wife in a bath, fill it up with acid. I'll be famous now. I'm wondering whether that's his motivation.
No, honestly, you know what it is? I reckon he looks like a bit of a roid head. I reckon he's lost his cool and lost his shit. The parents hated the idea that she was marrying him. So I think that there was some sort of history there, maybe in a domestic violence sense, because some people were talking about the fact that she was stepping away from her life and her dreams. And I reckon he's flown off the handle. I reckon he's knocked her around too many times. And has allegedly killed her. And then he's put her in the bath to dissolve her body to get rid of it.
Yeah. And it gets even more bizarre because he went to court and his lawyer said that he may apply for bail in due course.
No way in the world they'll give him bail. Not a chance.
No. Speaking outside the court, the lawyer said that his client was distraught and had no comment to make on the allegations, right? And then when they
distraught about being in custody.
Yes, distraught about not distraught about the fact that his wife is dead in a bath with acid.
Right. Distraught about being in custody, being caught.
Yeah. See, he wanted to be famous and wanted to be out there.
Well, he might be famous for 5 minutes, mate, but as you know, once he ends up in jail for the rest of his life and stuff like that, the only thing he's going to be famous, boy.
He'll be famous in jail, all right?
He certainly will be the men with small amounts of lube.
Exactly. Well,
what a turkey. I mean, look, and honestly, hold on. Any man who lays a hand on a woman isn't a real man, as far as I'm concerned. End of story.
The guy, I think there's going to be a bit more that'll come out of this case. I think we'll find out a little bit more about this guy. Maybe Spotify had a podcast that they were going to get him to do and he got pissed off. Maybe he didn't do any for the year.
Right, and they were putting pressure on him. You're right. You never know.
Maybe they were. They were knocking on his door saying, "Where's your podcast?" He's like, "I don't know. I have to find a podcast. I have to create one."
Or it could even be that his role, his becoming famous role as an ethnically diverse Wiggles, fell through.
Oh, now actually, can we talk about that before we finish the show?
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you hadn't noticed, I think I've pushed a button here.
The Wiggles winning Triple J's Hottest 100, right?
Fuck yeah. I thought they were going to win it for Dorothy the Dinosaur or Big Red Car. I'm a bit disappointed.
I know, but they won it for Elephant instead. And look, you know what? I think it's great that they won that, but there's a lot of very pissed off people out there right now that the Wiggles have won.
Right. Well, and this is the interesting thing. Let's be straight here. The Wiggles are not like High Five, right? They're not just created by a television company or something like that to try and entertain children and stuff. The Wiggles were semi-successful, look, by our standards, highly successful, bands in their own right, doing their things.
Not anymore. No, not anymore. They are now owned by the ABC.
The Wiggles?
And, yes.
The Wiggles, the ABC couldn't afford to buy out the Wiggles.
The Wiggles is owned by the ABC, right? Like they've got all of the albums, that sort of stuff, and the company, the Wiggles company, employs the Wiggles.
Wow.
So they're employees. So it's not even a band, so to speak, anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're fantastic, but...
Okay, I'm just checking this out because, look, not that I doubt you, but I'm just checking this stuff out.
Okay, so it was reported by the Bragg, Bragg Media, that when this all sort of happened, okay? So there's four big things. One, the Wiggles aren't underdogs, right? Depending on the metric, they are actually really, really rich. Deservingly so, but they are really rich, okay?
Made a lot of coin from good old Big Red Car and Dorothy the Dinosaur.
Yeah. It wasn't a protest vote, right? So they weren't spouting some anti-mainstream narrative that everyone went, yeah, we'll back him, right? It wasn't a satire vote. I mean, the song wasn't really funny. They did a really good cover of it, but it was sincere. And it wasn't even an emotional vote, okay? Because most of the original members are gone and all that are left are salaried staff. So who are they voting for? The Wiggles Corporation.
Yeah, right.
The Wiggles win was ultimately good for the ABC. Because the ABC owns all of the Wiggles masters.
Yeah, right. See, I can't find any statement of that.
Let's see it.
ABC ownership.
Black and white. Black and white.
Wow. There you go. So they own, and look, the guys still own pieces, don't they?
So ownership of music basically means that the publishing rights are owned by ABC. So they still have the writers' rights and that's it, and performance rights, right? But the ABC owns the publishing rights. So the ABC, and if you think about it from a stunt like that, right? The ABC, who also owns Triple J.
Yeah, right. Okay, I get it.
It's a stroke of commercial genius, right?
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
When you think about it like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so then that's where all the ethnically, I can't even say that probably, ethnically diverse Wiggles and identity diverse, or whatever they want to call them, Wiggles, are coming into play because the ABC are obviously trying to expand the brand and spread the load, and they're bringing all the new people in.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about how Kid Leroy, who is an Indigenous artist, lost out to the Wiggles. I mean, his song was number 2. Should have been number 1, according to the...
And I reckon it was damn sight better too. I got nothing against the Wiggles, don't get me wrong. But
yeah. I just think it's time that the Hot 100 needs a bit of an overhaul and needs to be really looked at, if people need, if they want to continue on and be seen as, this is going to become a milestone in history, right? If they want to be seen as a real... to continue on as a real champion of the indie music world, which they always have been.
Yep.
Then they're going to have to do something next year.
Well, it sounds to me like you and I need to step up and fill their boots, mate.
Just thinking about that, I could probably hum a few bars of fruit salad. Yummy, yummy.
Yeah, nice. Yep. Fruit salad.
Give it a go.
Yummy, yummy.
Now.
There you go.
That's it. So
big news. Big news.
Make sure you head over to our social media pages, which are official Bad Boys Podcast on both Facebook and Instagram.
And of course, badboysfm.com, so that you can catch some pretty awesome fucking music.
Oh, no more sultry tunes?
Party it up. Yeah, no, the tunes are a little less sultry and a little bit more rock, which is where it needs to be.
Yeah, I agree. In our next episode, we catch up with the creator of Ozark. Can't wait for that one.
That's right.
Make sure you check that one out. That'll be out on Friday, so tune in for that.
Nice.
See you guys.
Take it easy, everybody. Have a great week.
Press plus or follow to hear more great episodes from the Bad Boys. Or check us out on our social media at Official Bad Boys Podcast on both Facebook and Instagram.